Donald Trump just dropped a fiery Truth Social post about Washington, D.C., and it's going viral. Let's read it, then break it down. Washington, D.C. has one of the highest rates of crime in the world, more than many of the most violent third world countries. The city's homicide rate is higher than places notorious for their violence, such as Mexico City, Bogota, Islamabad, and Addis Ababa. Almost 10 times higher than Fallujah, Iraq. If D.C. were a state, it would have the highest homicide rate of any state in America. The violent crime rate in D.C. has worsened, and the murder rate has essentially doubled in just over a decade. But these are only the official statistics released by corrupt city officials. The real numbers are many times worse. In fact, a precinct commander was just suspended for allegedly manipulating the violent crime statistics, and the D.C. Police Union, likewise, says the real numbers are much higher. Because the Democrat government of D.C. has largely stopped investigating, arresting, and prosecuting most crime, the published statistics don't even capture a fraction of the actual violence. No one is arrested for shoplifting. Citizens living in fear have largely given up on call belief law police, instead choosing not to walk the streets after dark, essentially becoming captive prisoners in their own city. Stores lock up their merchandise behind glass walls. Gang youth violence is so common, it goes largely unreported. Vehicle theft in D.C. is more than 3 times the national average. Schools are completely dysfunctional. Citizens are afraid to speak up or call the police, lest they be targeted. The real crime rates are probably 5 to 10 times what has been reported. D.C. has been under siege from thugs and killers, but now D.C. is back under federal control where it belongs. The White House is in charge. The military and our great police will liberate this city, scrape away the filth, and make it safe, clean, habitable, and beautiful once more. Okay, that's a lot to unpack. First, Trump is framing D.C. not just as unsafe, but as a war zone, even invoking military intervention. That's rare language for a U.S. city. Now, here's the reality check. While D.C.'s homicide rate has indeed risen in recent years, calling it higher than every state or comparing it to Fallujah is highly provocative and depends on which data you use. Official FBI and D.C. police stats show an increase, but not necessarily the global comparison Trump claims. The real heart of his message isn't just crime stats, it's political. He's using D.C. as an example of what he says happens under Democratic leadership. Less policing, more fear, and chaos in daily life. And by saying the military will liberate the city, he's blending crime policy with a kind of dramatic, almost cinematic rescue narrative. But here's the twist. D.C. is under unique governance rules, and federal intervention in local law enforcement is controversial. Some see it as a necessity, others as overreach. Either way, Trump's statement is designed to grab headlines, stir emotions, and set up a bigger political point. If he's in charge, order returns. So, is this a wake-up call or just political theater? That's for you to decide. But one thing's certain, the fight over crime and control in D.C. is only getting started.